Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight, or if you're watching this at a time that is better for you, awesome. And I'm so excited to join you. So hi Martha, you're here right on time. My name is Ashley Koff. I'm a registered dietitian and I am CEO of the Better Nutrition Program. And at the Better Nutrition Program, we provide tools developed by practitioners to help practitioners and patients assess your current nutrition to figure out what's already better. Yay, we want to keep that. And then what could be better to help you reach your health goals. And the reason that I start with that is because one of the things that could be better for your hair, skin, nails, energy, hormones, I've got so many things to talk to you about tonight, is the topic of conversation tonight. So I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much to my friends at Sea Buck Wonders. I'm such a big fan of sea buckthorn oil, and in particular, the benefits of omega-7s. And we're going to talk all about that tonight. But probably the reason a lot of you joined me here tonight is because you are excited to win prizes. And so there are all sorts of prizes. Unfortunately, this is only in the live. So if you are watching this at a later date, I apologize. The prizes are only happening for the people that are joining us live tonight. But we have so many prizes. So some of them I have behind me here. I've got the facial cleanser. We've got our facial cream, the facial body lotion. Oh my gosh, I love this body lotion, especially in the summer. It just feels amazing on my skin. Our ultimate hair, skin, and nails. And then we also have, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference. We have the berry oil. Let me bring this up a little bit closer. The berry oil that we're going to be giving away and see the organic logo. And then we also have the seed oil. You'll also see the organic logo there. All the products are organic and all plant-based. And then I also have supplements here in the capsule form of the sea buckthorn seed oil. Say that a few times fast. In the from the pure Himalayan, that'll be important for us to discuss. And then also the omega-7 complete. Let me make sure I get this in front of the camera in a great way. So we've got that part over here as well. And kosher, in case anybody is wondering on that part, wide spectrum. So we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So the way that you win prizes tonight are you answer questions at the time. I don't want to stick it in front of the hair, skin, and nails. You know what? I don't have too much space. I'm just going to do it. Oh, I know what I can do. I can put them on top. There we go. I can get everything in, I think, yep, then we can see them. Okay, so I am going to, hi, Sea Buck Wonders is perfect timing. I'm going to say things, and to prove that you're paying attention, you'll answer things, and then you'll win a prize, which my friends at Sea Buck Wonders are going to pick the prizes for me, because I can do a lot of things here, but doing all of that at one time is going to be crazy. So why don't we kick it off, and we can start off with a conversation about what is omega-7, and we're going to actually back up and talk just about omegas. You did get in on time, Martha, and so we're going to talk about omegas, and when I ask a question, when you answer that question, remember to type your answer in and you will be entered to win one of these prizes. So one of the things that we want to know about from the standpoint of omega-7 is it possible to get in all of your omegas, all of the essential omegas that you need by eating or applying plants only? Could you do that? So if you think yes, in a plant-based diet, you could get in all of the omegas that you need, all the essential ones, all the ones that your body needs for beautiful hair, skin, and nails on a plant-based diet, say yes. And if you think no, that we have to eat something from an animal, then go ahead and say no. And the winners on that part will be, let's go ahead, since we're kicking it off, I'll just let Sea Buck Wonders pick what you win on that part. So yes, from a plant-based diet, you can get in all the omegas that your body needs, those fatty acids that it needs for healthy hair, skin, and nails, or no, and you have to eat animals. So we're going to dive into a conversation about plant-based and just in general about what our body needs from for healthy hair, skin, and nails. And we're going to do that by way of introducing this amazing ingredient, this omega-7. So first of all, I have to explain that there are a lot of fatty acids. So fatty acids, like proteins, are building blocks, and they come together to build the fats that our body needs to do different things. things. So I keep mentioning hair, skin, and nails, but remember with our skin, it could be repairing our skin. So say that we have a wound and we need that wound to be healed, or say that we're aging and we want to prevent, the fine lines and we want to have less wrinkles. I'm here I am. Hello, Delane Dawn. So they're answering a question. If you see yeses and nos, we're having a contest right now for a prize to find out if you can get all of the omegas, all the fats that you needed from plants, or if you have to eat animals. Now, you could choose to eat animals. I'm just wondering, do you have to eat animals, right? Okay. So omegas, some of these omegas are what we call essential, meaning that the body doesn't make them. And so as a result, we have to get them in from our food, and they're found in a lot of different places. So when we think about where we can get in all of those omegas, we actually can get them all in from plants. So the answer, you're exactly right. The answer is that we can get them in from plants. However, we have to know about certain plants, because one of the things you're going to find out tonight is that while wild salmon is amazing for you and fish oil, good quality fish oil supplements are great for you, they're not going to get you enough omega-7 probably. So why do we need to turn to the power of plants? Because these tiny berries, especially when they're sourced sustainably and they're processed properly in the Himalayan, they are going to give you this omega-7 that is so important. All right. So how many of you have heard of omega-3s? Give me a clap or a thumbs up or a yes if you've heard of omega-3s. We've heard of a lot about omega-3s and the role of omega-3s in, being anti-inflammatory or helping to promote a healthy inflammatory response, being good for our eyes, being good for our hearts, being good for babies, so from a prenatal standpoint, we've heard all about this. But I think we haven't given enough attention to these other omegas. Okay. So why are we going to talk about omega-7 tonight? Well, because this particular, and I always have to look at to make sure that I pronounce it properly. It's a little bit of my dyslexia, but palmitoleic acid is what we are talking about when we talk about omega-7. And when you think about omega-7 fatty acids, I want you to think about omega-6 and 7 as the ones for your hair, skin, and nails. So I talk about omega-6 often because I love to talk about hemp seeds and hemp seed oil. But omega-7 is so important because not only does it also help us with our hair, skin, and nails, it's also helping, it's also helping, hi Emily, helping us with insulin sensitivity, with cholesterol metabolism, with heart health, with eye health. Did you know I've been talking to this eye doctor about the fact that women, as we go through menopause, are so much more likely, like 70% of women in menopause have dry eyes. So one of the things that we have to start to understand is the role of these other omegas. So while I don't want you to forget about omega-3s, and I want you to make sure that you get them in, tonight's conversation, there's no 3. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the omega-7 because it's also important for liver health, for detoxification, for being antibacterial, antimicrobial, and because fats don't exist in nature. Fats come from foods, and these foods have other ingredients like antioxidants, right? Like all these bright colors that you see going on, all those colors in nature tell us we want that brightness because it's giving us antioxidants, and those antioxidants do really important work to do cleanup work. So all of this stuff that I'm talking about is going to help you win another prize, right? Okay, so we're going to come up to that. So I want you to tell me, and we're going to go through talking a little bit more about omega-7s, but I want you to tell me, I gave you the name of the number of an omega that's really important for hair, skin, and nails that can also help with your insulin sensitivity and cholesterol metabolism. And I'll give you a hint, it's not omega-3. So give me the number. What omega fatty acid, what's the number? This is to win a prize, to get one of these great products sent to you containing this ingredient, this harder to get ingredient that is great for your hair, skin, and nails. I will tell you, I use it. I love it. I'm 45. I feel like all these things together are working well for me, right? So that is helpful. So it's an omega what? Give me the number. Omega what number is important for hair, skin, and nails, as well as insulin sensitivity, eye health, even helps a bit with digestion. So tell me that because that's going to help you to win a prize. We've got Emily, we've got Yeah, we've got so many people. Okay, so omega-6, great. So one of the things I want to remind you is, and I'm just going to give you a little hint here as we're talking about that, omega-6, great for hair, skin, and nails. But the number that I'm talking about, the one I was talking about before, is going to be great for insulin sensitivity, cholesterol, skin, heart health, digestion, eye health, aging, immune health. So keep going up on the numbers for those of you. So yes, omega-6 is great for you. I call it the glamour fatty acid. You guys are so good. You've learned so much from me that you're sticking with that one. But tonight, I'll give you the hint. Tonight, we're talking about a different omega, and that is, you have to enter the number to win that prize, because there are all these different reasons. In fact, there are 7 different reasons, right? Hair, skin, nails, digestion, cholesterol, metabolism, eye health, right? All of these. Keep going, Emily. We're talking about 7 of them, right? So tonight we're talking about palmitoleic acid, which is a specific omega-7. It's a specific omega that is found in a couple of foods only. So why am I here to tell you about it tonight? Because I always want you to start off with your food, and I want your foods to make sure the first step is we've got to get in the healthy fats, right? When we get in the healthy fats, we get in all these different omegas, omega-3s, omega-6s, omega-7, omega-9, these different ones that we're talking about. We get those in. When we get in those omegas, they do so many different things for us in our body, and we're able to get them all in from plants, but we've got to choose those different plants. And we also can add, if we eat fish, we can get them in there. But there are only a few sources of omega-7, which is the reason that throughout history and throughout cultures around the world, when they look at their skincare, it's what are the oils that you're applying as well as what are you ingesting, right? And Martha is saying she never heard of omega-7. Martha, it makes me so happy that you're here tonight. This is exactly, and if you're watching at home and you're embarrassed to admit it, do not be embarrassed. I know dietitians that do not know about omega-7. I know doctors that don't know about omega-7. So there are some foods, and we want to go through that. So omega-7 is a monounsaturated fat. So raise your hand, give me a high five, or say yes, or say 7, if you actually know about monounsaturated fats. So there are polyunsaturated fats and there are monounsaturated fats. And monounsaturated fats are so important for you to get in because they have all of these amazing heart health and environment, like from a body standpoint, all of these different benefits. But in particular, this monounsaturated fat is going to be really helpful for our hair, skin, and nails, and it's also shown to be helpful in insulin sensitivity, and then some of the other components that are found in this sea buckthorn, so we're going to talk about this now, are going to help round out just all of the amazing benefits. So, sea buckthorn, why is it so good for your hair, skin, and nails? Well, that omega-7 is that ingredient that I'm like, oh, I want you to get in, and it's hard for you to get it in because food sources, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any, macadamia. So do you love macadamia nuts? I love macadamia nuts, but there is no way, there's only about 17% of the macadamia nut or the macadamia nut oil is going to be this omega-7. So we need to get in more of that, right, in order to get to that higher amount and I'll go in how much on a daily basis I want you to get in. And so it's good to know about other forms, right? Other foods, when you get in wild salmon or anchovies, I'm betting a lot of you guys, I actually had an anchovy earlier, but we don't have a lot of them. And they also they're high in a bunch of different omegas, but fish oil, for example, is not going to be high in omega-7. So it may have some omega-7 in conjunction with all these others, and that's great because what happened with a fish is it ate other things, and so its body now has that omega-7 in there. But what you can do is you can go straight to the source. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you all tonight is that I don't think enough people know how important it is to discover sea buckthorn, and in particular the oil, but also the whole berry. So the berry, like in some of the supplements and also in the products that we have and in that the oil, you're going to get things like antioxidants. So antioxidants, I want you to think of all of these bright colors because that's going to be important. We're going to come up back to that in a moment. So when we get in antioxidants, they go in and they clean up all of the mess, right? Just we create a mess inside of us every day, especially when we're living healthy. When we're living healthy and we get outside and we exercise and, we're doing all of these things, we actually create a mess inside of us. And antioxidants go around and they scavenge and they clean it up. Well, there's one antioxidant. They're all important. And these carotenoids, think of carrot, right? Like you want to think of that bright, bright orange. And that's why it's important that if you're choosing wild salmon, for example, that the fish is actually that bright color naturally, not that it's been painted or had dye added afterwards. So those bright colors, and especially that orange reddish, that's going to tell us that we're getting in those carotenoids. And those carotenoids are great for eye health, for skin health. They're just so good for us. But there's also superoxide dismutase, which is another antioxidant that is really potent because it helps to prevent the mess. So it's almost like I'm trying to think of like a good analogy on that part. If I was thinking of like the way that I would describe what it does. It actually will go in and it would be like if your mom was like following you around and before you dropped like something onto the floor, she caught it, right? How many times does mom do that? Thank you, mom, right? Keep me from breaking things. So what's happening on that part is that superoxide dismutase that's along that antioxidant that's in there is helping to prevent some of the mess that's occurring, right? And really cleaning it up in an amazing way. And so super, super helpful for us. So that's another benefit of getting in. And we have, when it comes to sea buckthorn, I'm going to grab some of my props so I can show you this. Actually, I think the oils would be a great way to show you. So we have the sea buckthorn seed oil. Let me just see. Sorry, we're getting the sun is setting and I didn't close my windows fully, so that's where you're getting the lines, but it's actually beautiful. And then we also have the berry. So you have seeds and you have berry, right? And so within there, you're going to get, and with the berry, it's a tiny little bottle because when you concentrate all of that, and we'll go through the processing, you only need a tiny, tiny, tiny little amount. So it lasts forever. I've had that bottle for a really long time. But we're going to be giving that part away. So I want to go through another giveaway. So let's give away a bottle of the oil of omega-7. So for those of you that are getting that part, what I want you to go through is, I mentioned a couple of different foods that can provide omega-7, and I want you to name the berry or the seed that can provide omega-7 for a chance to win. Let's go with the lotion. I feel like that would be great. So what is the name? And what we're looking for here is what would give you the highest concentration, the easiest way to get in this omega-7, as well as getting in all these other, hey, Araceli, great to see you. We're talking tonight about omega-7 and we're talking about getting in omega-7 along with carotenoids and superoxide dismutase and all these amazing antioxidants. And there are foods like macadamia, even avocado has a little bit of the omega-7, wild salmon. Did I miss any? A little bit even in olive oil, but there's one ingredient that is going to give you a high concentration of that omega-7, and those of you that share that are entered to win to be able to get this amazing body lotion from Sea Buck Wonders, who are my sponsors tonight and also helping me out to collect the winners on that part. So what would be the ingredient? And it's something that it's this fruit that's in the Himalayas. It is not something that is here in the US for us and readily available. And that's why it's really important. One of the things that we're going to talk about as our conversation goes on tonight is how to know that you're getting a good quality source of this sea buckthorn ingredient. Ooh, I actually said what I was telling you. So in order to win the lotion, I need you to tell me what is the food, the plant, and it could be the berry or the seed in nature that is the highest concentration of this omega-7. Hint, it's what we're talking about tonight, and it's here on a lot of the products. I know you can't see so well, but to be entered to win, you need to tell me what that one is, and that would be in order to get the lotion, unless my team on the back end picks something differently, but that was one of the things. So what we're really talking about as well is thinking about when we're thinking about our hair, skin, and nails, it's about what we avoid, what we don't take in. So many of you have heard me have this conversation before where I talk about how it's really important to get in whole foods or kitchen processed things that have not been, subjected to high heat if it's oils, too high of a heat, and also to get in, instead of artificial colors, to get in real colors, because bright colors for your skin are these key. Also, your digestive health is so important. So you guys know I have the digestive evaluation at the Better Nutrition Program. That's the first thing I do with absolutely anyone because I want to make sure that your digestion, you can't have great skin, you can't have any health results if you don't have better digestion. But you also need to take in certain nutrients. So in addition to taking in omega-7, which is this really important fatty acid that we want to get in, we need to get in other omegas. So we want to get in omega-3, we want to get in omega-6, which is that glamour fatty acid that I told you about, even omega-9 from olive oil. And that's why I thought we would show our omega-7 complete for a chance to win this one. For a chance to win omega-7 complete, tell me about, why don't you tell me, let's see, we've got this one here, so I just want everybody to see it. And we're going to come over to the back, and I want to see, yeah, we have that amount. So here, and we can see, so everyone can see, and for a chance to win this bottle, how much of the organic sea buckthorn oil do you want to get in a day so that you're getting enough of the omega-7? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's 1,000 milligrams. So for anyone who can either see this bottle or enter it, 1,000 milligrams of the sea buckthorn oil. And I'll go through and explain what I mean by that. It means that on this particular product, you're getting about 30-35% of that omega-7. You're getting about 25-30% of the omega-9. You're getting about 4-6% of the omega-6. Now, those are all from the sea buckthorn berry oil. And then from the seed, you're going to get additional omega-3, 6, and 9. So that's how you net out at that 1,000 milligrams. Awesome. So when you get in that 1,000 milligrams, and so we're giving this away right now, this omega-7 complete, when you get in that 1,000 milligrams, which is 2 capsules to get in that 1,000 milligrams, you're getting in the 3, 6, 9, the 7, just from getting in the sea buckthorn. Now, why is that? Because we have the seed and the oil, right? So you're getting it from the berry, from the berry and the seed. So the way to think about that is, let's say that you had, I'm trying to think of like a good example. Let's say that you had olives and you actually ate the olive, which, by the way, guys, is actually a berry. You ate the olive and then you ate the pit, which would be like getting in the berry and the seed, and you press those down really hard so you didn't actually eat the seed in there. You extracted that oil from there. That is going to give you all of those, it's going to give you different amounts of those fats, what's in the seed versus what's in the berry. That's why the combination in that omega-7 complete, it's the seed and the berry that's giving you that higher amount of omega-7, but it's also giving you those omega-3, 6, and 9. And remember, going back to the start of this, it is possible, if you plan properly, to get in all the nutrients, all those omegas that you want to get in from plants. Now, I am happy to have you accessorize with some animal if you want to and choose better quality and all of these things, but you don't have to. But many of my patients come in who are following a plant-based diet, or who are following a plant-based exclusively, or who are following a plant-based and accessorize a little bit with animal products. But what happens is they're not getting in the diversity, the different omegas. So they might be eating walnuts because they heard about them for omega-3s, or they've heard that almonds are great for them, or they've heard about cashews, or they are like me and they love the Miyoko's nut butter or the cashew butter, and so they're just eating it because it's absolutely delicious. And that's great, but if you're not getting in those 6s and 7, and in particular that omega-7, you're not going to be getting these benefits. Now, there's some additional benefits, and I want to go, here we go. It's time to do the hair, skin, and nail giveaway. Okay, when we talked about what is important for our hair, skin, and nails, we talked about omega-7, but there's also a B vitamin. I'm giving you a big hint here. A B vitamin that is really important for your hair and your skin and nails. And so in order to win the hair, skin, and nails, I want you to tell me what's the name of the B vitamin that you want to get in on a daily basis to help with your hair, skin, and nails. Woohoo! HSN. This is Sea-Buck Wonders is like, woohoo, because this is such an amazing product. And it's not just an amazing product. So now we're going to get into like the Ashley part. So Emily, you're absolutely right that B12 is amazing and great for you, but I want you to focus in here on what is a good B vitamin for hair, skin, and nails in particular. Right? A good B vitamin for hair, skin, and nails. And yeah, we're doing a giveaway here. We've got Rerun over here who joined us, my dog, who wanted to say hi. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, in addition to getting in these ingredients, how you get in them, the quality of what you get in. You guys are getting it, biotin. We want to get in biotin, and we're just lucky that we also get in here, we've also got that we can get additional antioxidants, as I mentioned, and we'll talk a little bit more about those when we talk about the oil. But one of the things that I wanted to bring over on here, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, I think you can, vegan, 100% natural, gluten-free, non-GMO. I think that those are going to be really important things for us to pay attention to, because there isn't the same, all of the sea buckthorn oil that's out there isn't created equal. And in fact, I'm not going to open these just because I don't want to spill them, and then that way we can ship them in terms of the bright orange. So one of the things to note, especially if you have pale skin, these oils are meant to be bright, right? A bright orange. So you want to rub that part in, and it's okay. If you want, you can put it on a part, it gets absorbed and you're not going to have a staining on that part. But that actually tells me that it's great oil for you. So some of the ways that we can know that an oil is counterfeit is actually if it's a lighter color, right? The other way to know if it's counterfeit is how it smells. So these, we're talking about a berry and we're talking about the seed of the berry. So it should have like a nutty seed kind of smell. So if it doesn't smell at all, right, it could be bleached out, or if it smells kind of funky, that's not going to be something, that is not going to be a good quality oil for you. The other thing is you want to find out how they actually extract it. So, everybody has heard of cold pressed olive oil, and cold pressed olive oil is so amazing for you. However, if you cold press these guys, it's not going to be better for you. Remember I was telling you about that really potent antioxidant, and also how important it is to get in that omega-7. So when we process it, we actually want to use CO2 extraction, and that's going to be a better way for you. So if you see cold pressed, it's probably not going to be a better option for you for that sea buckthorn oil. Then the final thing is, you guys, you get what you pay for. Right? So if you see something and you say to me, oh, Ashley, you know that organic sea buckthorn oil from the Himalayas where they pay it's free trade, fair trade. I'm getting tongue tied tonight. And they pay, so that means paid fair wages. They're harvesting it well. They're sustainably harvesting it. Then they're using CO2 extraction, and they're bringing you this here, and the color looks great and the smell looks great. Oh, but I found the exact same thing and it's a quarter of the price. Don't buy it. You literally are better to not buy that oil, because that oil is not going to be good for you. It's not going to have those benefits. So just from a price standpoint, and I'm going to look at my notes just to make sure that I don't get this wrong, but it takes 200 pounds of berries. So 200 pounds of berries to make 1 pound of berry oil, or half a pound of sea oil. So now we're starting to understand, if it takes 200 pounds of those berries to make 1 pound. So from 200, if this gets any cheaper, it literally just can't be made well. And that means there could be fillers that are in there. It means that the oil could not be treated well. And one of the things that we know about all oils is when they are not treated well, when they're processed poorly, or when they're left exposed to light. So for example, if they're not in a dark bottle, or if they're left out in the air and they can oxidize, that means that they actually put oxidation inside of you. That is bad. That's a no. So don't go looking for, I would rather that you got a bottle if you can afford it and used it a lot less, or took the supplements. If the supplements say 2 capsules a serving and you want to take 1 because it means that you can afford it for a longer time, I would rather that you get the Sea-Buck Wonders, because I can assure you of the quality. that is, and you're right, they're tiny, tiny berries, right? When somebody's jumping in. And so what we want to make sure is that if we're only putting something in our body or on our body that is going to be helpful in that way. So that to me is like something super, super, super important. So because of that, I wanted to do a giveaway of both of these oils. So we have our seed oil and we have our berry oil. And I will leave it up to, I'll leave it up to my Seabuck Wonder friends to choose who gets which one. Okay, I want you to tell me one way that you would know if something was not a good quality sea buckthorn oil. So I just listed a bunch of them. I talked about, I'll go through it really quickly, just make sure you pay attention. So I talked about price, I talked about smell, I talked about the color, I talked about how it's processed. Is it CO2 extraction? Is it cold pressed? So I want you to give me one way that you know that it wouldn't be a good, that it could be a counterfeit or a not good oil to be entered to win either the berry or the seed oil. You guys are getting it. I'm so glad you're paying attention. And remember, you guys, if you have questions, because you know I can move fast, if you have questions, oh, you're right, the bottle color, great, great one, that I'm not answering or you want to know more about things, then please go ahead and ask those questions too. You don't just have to answer. Of course, answering helps you win prizes on that part. Okay, I want to dive a little bit more deeply into how the sea buckthorn oil, that omega-7, is actually helping your skin. Because I think a lot of us really care at that point, about like how do we take care of our skin, because we know, yes, we have vanity. We also know that the things that we have to do to our skin later on may not be as healthy for us. So how can we prevent doing some of those things? But one of the things we really have also, I think, come to understand is that our skin is a critical organ for our body. So it's responsible for the elimination process. It's part of that, but it's also a gatekeeper to keep certain things not coming in, right? Protect us against bacteria and things like that. So it's really important that we repair damage, that we help the body to repair any damage to our skin. And as a kid, I did not treat my skin well. I go right to my neck here because, was I like the sun worshiper, the baby oil? Like, I did not treat my skin. And then I was in a chlorinated pool because I was a swimmer. So I was doing a lot of things that were not better to my skin. Plus, of course, I had burns, just all sorts of things that you do. So one of the things that this combination of the omega-7 and the antioxidants that you're getting is it's going to help repair the damaged skin cells. Now, some of us may have had acne when we were younger, or maybe dealing with acne when we're older. That's also a place. Remember, acne is a digestive issue, and it's also a systemic issue. It's related to inflammation in the body and irritation, and those also dealing with those bacteria, right? So we don't want to treat it topically and just stop like whatever's going on there, even though we're desperate to have it go away, or, it could be on our back or on our butt or any of those pieces. We actually want to heal. So that's why I always start with the digestive evaluation. I was actually teaching practitioners today about how to actually work with patients like yourself, or if you are a practitioner, I was teaching them using the digestive evaluation first, because we need to make sure that the digestive system is working well. Well, one of the important things about a healthy digestive system is getting in all of these omegas, right? So that's going to be really valuable for you. It also is really important to use better quality products on your skin because they get absorbed and they go right into the body. So using the body lotion, the face cream, the facial cleanser, using the oils is, instead of using something that could be bad for your digestive system, is also going to be really important for helping to repair that skin. And so one of the things that we were talking about, oftentimes I'm asked about, or whether it's acne or eczema, or, it's just, I'm starting to notice that I'm getting more dry skin, maybe climate-wise related to allergies. You're getting, dry skin around, especially in the winter, we get that redness here, we get on the edges and we get those cracks. Really, really, really beneficial to get in that omega-7. So that is, yes, acne is a digestive issue. If you are treating it any other way, you're not getting at the core of what that issue is. So what we need to do is we need to get in our probiotics and our prebiotics, but we've got to get in our healthy fats. And one of the reasons that I love the hair, skin, and nail, going back to the ones that we've already done giveaways for, the hair, skin, and nails, and the omega-7s, so one of the key things about these here is that you're getting in your 3, your 6, and your 9. So those help your digestion. They're helping to promote a healthy inflammatory response. I want to make sure we can hopefully see all the products. I know they're a little bit blurry in the background. It's actually because my bookcase is orange in honor of, so it has to remember your oil has to be a really dark color. I'm even wearing a dark orangish red tonight just to remind you subliminally that whenever you're watching this, that you gotta look for that brighter, darker color of the oil. Otherwise, it could be an oil that is not good for that is not good quality. So that's going to be really important on that part. Okay, so that's something to understand. I was talking about those antioxidants as I'm talking about the color, and I just want to remind you how important it is that throughout our day we get in a variety of different colors. That's going to be something really important for your hair, skin, and nails, as well as internally. So if we're trying to heal the system, we were talking about acne as a digestive issue, any of these things, we really have to work on it. So one of the things that I love to do, regardless of your age, and we actually have at the Better Nutrition Program, is the rainbow evaluation to see, are you getting in all these different colors? And I'll tell you a fun story. So I did, it's fun to me, funny. I did the rainbow evaluation. You know, here I am, a dietitian of 20 plus years, and I've been giving all of you advice and telling you all these things to get in. And I had a big gaping hole with one of the colors. Do you have any idea what color I wasn't getting in? Let's just think about that for a second. And thank you so much to my friends at Seabuck Wonders, because they have a great, super, super easy video to take a look at so that you can see how you can avoid counterfeit products. And so I loved this video. I clicked on it and read it, and it's like, and then while you're over at Seabuck Wonders, use the code Ashley15 and buy your products. And hint, I buy them in bulk so that I just don't run out of them. Emily, you are exactly right. I knew if I waited, you would get it. Well, no, I've been good about getting in purple because purple is actually my favorite color, but orange, I just wasn't good at getting in orange. And you know, I have nothing against it. Orange, you know, sweet potato, delicious. Carrots, love them. You know, all the oranges, those tiny little cuties, you know, getting in apricots. I love orange. I just don't, like, maybe in a good week, I get one, like on one day I get it in. Well, you know what? I took my own advice and I turned around and said, you know what I can do? I can get orange in. Well, first I added some turmeric, so I get that in on a daily basis, which is great. It helps promote a healthy inflammatory response. And then I get in my sea buckthorn oil. So what's great about that is orange in nature is in all of these places. And I live in Columbus, Ohio, which is very far away from the Himalayas, so I am not getting access to these tiny little berries. So I'm really grateful to my friends at Seabuck Wonders for all these different ways that I get it in, because I know what goes in and on my body. All of that counts towards my rainbow evaluation. So that's just a little food for thought for you. Maybe you know someone who isn't doing as good of a job at getting in one of the colors. Like maybe you have a total battle with your child over green, right? Or in nutrition, we also use white and brown. So for me, another one, I used to never get in mushrooms, and mushrooms are so good for your immune system. So I took those in a supplement form. And that's a great way to understand how your total nutrition can help your body get in the nutrients that it needs. And so some of the other ones, beta carotene, those carotenoids, those antioxidants are great for summer skin health. Thank you so much. We've got a blog on that part, and it was one of the areas I was going into with antioxidants, because you need to nourish your skin. A lot of times we think in the summer of helping to protect against UV rays, which by the way, is something that our sea buckthorn oil will do and help with that protection. But what we also want to do is make sure that we're getting in those antioxidants, as I mentioned, to clean up that mess. And yes, there are more summer fruits. There are more ways to get it in. Maybe you love to drink carrot juice, or you're getting in these bright, but getting in the omega-7, which is great for your system, and also doing that part. And remember, I also told you about the other carotenoid that is a hard to find, not carotenoid, the other antioxidant that is a hard to find nutrient, superoxide dismutase. So I mentioned before, it's kind of like your mom, like preventing an accident from occurring. Well, one of the reasons, it's like having a safety net, because some of the worst free radicals for us, the most dangerous ones, like, right? So I'm very clumsy. So I'm envisioning myself carrying like a beautiful vase, and I'm about to trip and fall, and mom comes in and she catches it, right? This has happened a million times in my life. Okay. So in that instance, we're thinking, wow, that one is so like important. We want to protect it. We don't want to have it fall. Well, that's kind of a little bit of a flaw as I give that analogy. So I want to correct myself and make sure that I'm clear. With that superoxide dismutase, what we're talking about is some of the most dangerous free radicals when we're creating that mess in our system. Some of the ones that are the worst for us, those are the ones that the superoxide dismutase is helping to clean up. So mom's still in there helping some way. My clumsiness is just something you now know about me. The antioxidants do help clean up the mess, but I just wanted to make sure that I got that one. And sometimes it's abbreviated SOD. Well, that's a harder to get in antioxidant, and so it's just great to know that that's one that you can be getting in pretty often in terms of when you have your daily use of your sea buckthorn. You can use the berry, or you can use the seed, or you can do an omega-7 complete as a supplement. You have so many different ways to get it in. And so that's where I wanted to walk in, and maybe we'll give away the cleanser and the facial cream. So I'll bring those over so everybody can see these. I love this little facial cream. Great. And we've got this, we've got the facial cream, and then we've got the facial cleanser over here. And so these two, we're going to give them away by talking about some of the different ways that you can get in the benefits of this amazing berry at any age, okay? So first of all, I'm not a believer in hiding, and one of the great things is that kids love things that have different colors, right? So you can teach them actually at a very young age that if they get in things that are bright colors, that it's actually good for them, but they want to get those bright colors in from foods, from actual, and this is actually a great, like this could be a geography lesson that you talk. You could show them where the Himalayas are. You know, there's so many different ways that we could present this. But one of the things that you could do is you could actually have them drizzle a little bit of this on their oatmeal, right? You're going to get a little nutty seed flavor in that part. So that part would be great. I've got the facial cleanser. We've got that one right there. Thank you. Absolutely. It's exfoliating. There's so many great things that I can say about this part. And so to win, when I tell you what we're going to talk to you about, what you're going to have to do in order to win it, I'll show this up again. But I want to show you all the things it's free from. So it's great for anyone who's really trying to take care of their skin. And it's a mild exfoliant, like in a good way. I'm very careful. I don't want you to have things peel, but I flipped it over and I'm like, oh, I love seeing orange peel oil on here. And, you know, we've just got great ingredients. So that part is awesome. So when we're using the cleanser and the cream, we can certainly do it that way. Oh, you want me to actually take it out of the bottle? There we go. You know what I did is I'm going to have to rip it open. I didn't open it ahead of time. I wanted them all to look so pretty. There we go. So you see that it's a clear bottle. It's a beautiful bottle. There's your cleanser. Hopefully you can see it. Got that sunlight as the sun goes down here in Columbus, Ohio. And it's made with that organic sea buckthorn berry and organic sea buckthorn seed oil, paraben-free, non-GMO, wheat-free, gluten-free. You know, a lot of times my clients who, when they are newly diagnosed with being gluten-free, or they find out that they're celiac, these really important life stages, have had skin issues, you know, on their arms and on their faces. Because, again, we talk about the digestion and its relationship to our skin. And so it's really important that we identify that there are products that you can use that are actually going to nourish and nurture your skin and help it heal. Because a lot of times, you know, they may have been getting in wheat or gluten, even if they had limited it, they might have had some exposure through their skincare. And that's so important for you to be able to make a better choice and then nourish and help heal. Okay, we were talking about ways to get this in. So one of the things you could do with oil is, so of course you could use any of these products, right? So you can take it as a supplement, you can use a facial cleanser, you can use the facial cream, you can use the body lotions, we've talked about that. But what if you love your shampoo or your conditioner and you just want to get in a little bit more of those benefits? One of the things that I like to do is to get in just a little bit more of the shine, right? To make sure that my hair stays. And so what I'll do is I actually take my, because my hair is actually very thin, and so it needs a lightweight conditioner. Otherwise, everything sits on it. So I put just a drop of the oil. I put a drop of the oil in there, and I go ahead and I do that, and I leave it in. I don't leave my conditioner for that long. I'm still in the shower, but like maybe while I'm shaving or pondering life or singing two of my favorite songs, you know, whatever I'm doing in the shower at that point in time, I will do it that way. So you could add it to your shampoo and conditioner. I think I mentioned this before, but if your kids or yourself, if you have any wounds, you can actually put it topically on the wound. Now, I'm always careful. If something isn't open as in bleeding, what I often do will apply oil to around the outside of it, or I'll wait for it to get a little bit of a scab, and then I start to apply the oil. Everybody might have their own recommendations. I am not a doctor in wound healing for any regard. And that's more just what I find is great for speeding up healing and works well for me on that part and my experience with using the oils. Also, you can add a dropper or two to your favorite salad dressing. So one of the great things, remember I showed you this tiny, tiny little bottle, and I told you the seeds are tiny. So 1 ml in here is about 30 little, you go like drop, 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 or like about half of, if I were to pull this out and drop it on there, about half of that. So you can imagine if you're making a salad dressing, being able to do it that way. You could drizzle this over. I just had an amazing cashew coconut ice cream. And let me just tell you, we had 4 kids over. They had no idea, first of all, that it wasn't dairy. And second of all, absolutely loved it. And you can drizzle a little bit of the oil on there because it folds in really nicely. So there are just easy ways. I love to make popsicles. And, a lot of times with the popsicles, I'm putting a smoothie together and then I make it into a popsicle. So say that you make a white popsicle, like maybe you're doing cauliflower and almond milk and that kind of thing. You can drizzle a little bit of the oil in there, get a little bit of a swirl, make it into a popsicle, and there you're good to go. So there are so many ways to get this in. And again, you're just trying to get in just a tiny amount. Okay. So to win, what were we on to? The facial cream and the cleanser. Let's go through, just tell me one way that you think that you would want to get. I've shown you a bunch of different ways. I've talked about some food ideas. One way that you're going to use to get in your omega-7 from sea buckthorn. So that's how you could win the facial cream or the facial cleanser. And I'll leave that up to my friends. And just a little bit of a time check. We've got about 10 minutes left. So if you have any questions about this, if you've got any questions that you came tonight to get answered, make sure that you go ahead and ask them. But this is your opportunity to tell me how you are going to incorporate in your sea buckthorn seed or berry oil in order to, or the combination, so that you get in your omega-7, so that you're getting your healthy hair, skin, nails, eye health. There's so many components of eye health, especially when you think about, I've been learning a lot about eye health, and when you think about the importance of those carotenoids, those antioxidants that we were talking about, that's going to be really important. We know the benefits of monounsaturated fats being so good for us. Martha says she doesn't use conditioner, so you got to get yours in a different way, Martha, but I bet you can come up with a way that you would get it in on that part. And I wanted to just see, let me see if anyone has any questions coming in. You could totally add it into shaving cream. Here's the question. You could add it into shaving cream and you apply it to your skin or you apply it to your leg, whatever you're shaving. The concern that I have is it a little bit wasting it? And the only reason for that is, of course, you're going to absorb some, but most of the time with shaving cream, we then remove it and then we're washing that away. So the thing about shaving cream for me is I might say, well, you could, and again, you're going to absorb. And also like too, if you were thinking about, I'm trying to put it, sometimes we have like a nick or we had a wound. So I might say it's better to apply, like if you cut yourself shaving, maybe it's better to apply the actual oil there than to use it in the shaving cream. That might just be, that's my 2 cents. There's no right answer when it comes to how you would get it in, as long as you're getting it in more often. So that's kind of the final piece that I want to talk about. Does the body lotion have it? You bet it does. So first of all, you could add it to your own lotion, but why not head over to Sea Buck Wonders and use the code Ashley15 and you can get that in, and get that 15% off. So that's going to be amazing for you. And it does have it in there. So I was looking for the ingredient list on here. Oh, there you go. And it's made with certified organic sea buckthorn. I can see on that part. Protects against visible signs of UV-induced stress. So remember, like, it's just telling you all these things that are amazing and what you're getting in on that part. So does it help with your teeth and bone health? I would say indirectly, but not directly on that part. And I'm happy to talk a little bit more about what I enjoy for bone health and for teeth. So indirectly, it would help with bone health in particular, because what we're talking about with some of those nutrients and those antioxidants, those can be very helpful for promoting bone health, because we know that our bone tissue is actually live, and part of bone health is maintaining this healthy inflammatory response and not having it be unhealthy on that part. From a teeth standpoint, standpoint, when we're putting in and we're taking something in to our mouth, one, it's great because it's going to be better for you than something that would be artificially colored or sweetened, that kind of thing. But when we're getting in those antioxidants, and also when you are getting in oils, those can be really nourishing for the gum. There you go, for your gum line, exactly, and help actually to be antimicrobial. So I would say very much so in there. But your actual tooth, like as it relates to, because your tooth is connected to the root and in the gum and all of that stuff, I would say yes. But for teeth and bone health, I focus on some other nutrients that are really important for you to get in as well. But great question on that part. Okay, I'm starting to wrap up. I just want to make sure that I'm answering any questions. I got the question on the bone health. Yes, 1,000 times. Is this good for children? Absolutely. You never, with young children, it's rare that we're going to have a conversation with them about their skin in terms of their aging skin, unless they look at us and say like, oh, look at your lines, as we get older, that kind of thing. But it is a great time to talk to them, and to talk to them about their skin, especially for as the young girls and boys, especially as our skin is changing and we start to have hormonal changes. And if that impacts any of our skin all over our body, I'm a really big proponent on trying to avoid medication for skin issues and instead nourishing the skin with healthy nutrients. And that includes our gum line. So C. Buck Wonders was agreeing and saying you can massage the berry oil right into your gums. And so that is so important on that part. Really, really great for you in that way. But going back to the kid piece, this is one of those I am obsessed with, and that is helping kids stay off of medications, both topical medications for the skin and oral medications for the skin, in terms of acne, whether somebody's put on birth control or Accutane or Retin-A or some of these. That should really be a last line of defense and intervention once you've done all the work to tune up digestion, and once you've also done things to take care of their overall health. And sunburn, absolutely. So if you're getting a sunburn, so first of all, depending on the degree of the sunburn, you may need to get medical attention. So I think it's really important. Sometimes we miss out understanding the degree of a sunburn, especially on younger kids, or on different parts of our body. So one of the things that there's a difference in those degrees. And if you notice that you're peeling, but that you've got it's not just a little bit of a peeling, or you notice that there's a very, it's really, really painful, I might recommend that you see your healthcare practitioner. But before that, and if you have a mild burn, absolutely you could go ahead and apply the sea buckthorn oil, and it's going to be helpful on that part, because remember, it's part of that wound healing. So that's the damage of the UV, that stress. It's part of the wound healing. It's going in. Those antioxidants are going to be really helpful. Emily, it's a good question about adding it to your sunscreen. So I think, so first of all, yes, because for example, I'll add a drop in and put it on my face, and my face cream has sunscreen, a sunblock in there. So I think that part is fine. I think that if you are, and especially if you're applying it and then it's wearing it all day, it's going to go in. And that also is a great way of saying to make sure that your sunscreen is a good quality sunscreen, because that's going to be something hopefully is going on you every day of the summer, and even not in the summer, especially at times of the year when you're not wearing a hat. So you can see, like, my hair, as I mentioned, is thin. So, I always want to be careful there. So I make sure that I am either wearing a hat, or I will apply a little bit of a sunscreen in there just to make sure that I don't get a burn on the top of my head. Because did you know, for women, up the top of our head, the top of our ears, because we'll pull our hair back and we've got this and we're running around all day and we're exercising and all that stuff, and then we end up with burns on the top of our ears. Great for after sun scare. Definitely does not replace. No, 100% does not replace sunscreen. And you don't want to dilute your sunscreen. So I think those are important comments, really important. So C. Buck Wonders is helping me with that part. They've spent a lot more time with the dermatologists, et cetera, on that piece. I didn't think about the diluting. I was thinking about the benefits to your skin. So I think that that's an important piece to consider, and I would leave that up to you. And I think there are probably additional ways that you could get it in. I was just thinking about the fact that in the summer, I'm so neurotic about, especially like about how much of my skin is getting exposed to the sun that I actually don't use my body lotion that much. I use a sunscreen body lotion, right? So I want to make sure that you're getting in, you definitely want to get in your sunscreen, but you also want to make sure that you're getting in your oil. So you could actually add your oil to your lotion, like say at night when you know you're going to be inside, and that might be a better way on that part. Any other questions I want to find out in terms of? Yes, absolutely. There are, so when we were talking before about omega-7 and then also about in the omega-7 complete, the 3, 6, 9, absolutely this is part of an anti-inflammatory. And you'll hear me use two different phrases. I'll say anti-inflammatory and then I'll say promotes a healthy inflammatory response. And that's the one I actually prefer to use, but it sometimes requires some explanation because today people know the anti-inflammatory diet so well. So what the anti-inflammatory diet is actually a condensed version of saying anti-inappropriate or unhealthy inflammation diet, right? And so what we're actually talking about is our body has an inflammatory response and we want to promote a healthy inflammatory response. So when we get in these omegas, like omega-3, omega-6, omega-7, when we get those in, we're helping to promote a healthy inflammatory response. Now the sources of those are also going to be really important, and the fact that we're not getting in, we talked about products before that could be not well, that if they're not treated well, right? If they're exposed to light or oxygen, or if they're cold pressed and they're not doing the CO2 extraction, or some of these products that could be problematic for us, those could actually add oxidants in, which is going to make a healthy oil, not one that could be helping to promote a healthy inflammatory response, one that is not healthy or helpful. So especially from a supplement or anything that you're adding, you've got to make sure that it's quality. Otherwise, it literally is not worth getting it in on that part. Great. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. A cool kid who learned a new word. Martha, you're awesome. So that is right. So thank you, Martha. And you actually gave me a great idea, which is I would love to encourage you, if you would, to share this on your page or share this privately. If you don't want to share it on your page, share it with at least one friend. Pay it forward and teach somebody about omega-7 today, because there is so much that we can do. We can help people pay less later on all sorts of skin stuff or stuff for their hair, that thing. And also, as we know, your skin is a reflection of your internal health, and also what goes on your skin and in your body is obviously going to make a big difference from a health standpoint. So there are so many people who need to know about the benefits of omega-7 and then how to choose a better quality product. So I'm so grateful to my sponsors here tonight, to Seabuck Wonders, for not just giving away all of these amazing prizes. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for all of you who won, but I'm also excited for all of you who are watching and maybe not winning a prize, but who are going to get to save 15% when you use Ashley15 at SeabuckWonders.com. There's no limit. You can go in. Of course, it's while supplies last. So I will tell you that the hair, skin, and nails pops out of there pretty fast. So get in there. You might, if it's something that you're going to take and you feel like I want to do this, you might do what I do, which is buy like 3 at a time, because I like to replenish my supplements on a quarterly basis. But you want to do that part. So pay it forward. Share this video with someone else. If you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, if you could give us a thumbs up if you liked what you heard here, if you want to write a comment. And also, if you have a question and this is after and you're watching it later, then no worries whatsoever. What you can do is just write in the comment and I'll get a notification. And then if it's not something that's better for me to answer and it's better for the company to answer, I will go ahead and reach out to them on that part. So thank you so much. And if you ever want to know when I'm going to be, thank you, Martha, for sharing. If you ever want to know when I'm going to be live, you can just pop up and follow my page so that you can follow us for lives, because we've got some awesome lives coming up for more things that you can learn about that maybe you don't know as much about, or that we just need to dive into what's better for us. Like we're going to talk about CBD and how to choose a better product on that part, those kinds of things. I'm so excited for everybody who won today. Do me a favor, once you've had your product and you start using it, also pop back over. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you so much for joining. And pop back over and let me know how you're doing with your products. And especially if you came up with a unique way to use it, a fun recipe, share that with me, because I'd love to share that on social media too. All right, everybody, have an amazing night. tonight. I hope to see you again here soon, and I hope you enjoy omega-7 and share it with others. Okay, take care. Bye.